What's up? All right, man. Welcome to the call, everybody. I want to welcome everybody that's here tonight. I'm so happy. So glad you guys are here. I don't know, stuck on it or something. Anyway, man, welcome to the call, Sean. I'm glad you made it as well. Man, I got to tell you, life is good. Life is good. We had a fantastic Bible study last night. And I am actually waiting for Natasha to get here on the call. She'll be here on the call here in just a couple minutes. And let me get our master volume turned up here. Anyway, again, welcome to the call, everybody. And wow, look at everybody here. Thank you guys so much for all the comments, all of you guys here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Hello to you guys. And yes, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Tooth of worm. I don't know about the worm. I don't know what the worm is, but whatever. Anyway, Sean, welcome to the call. I'm so glad you're here, man. We're going to be talking about some good stuff tonight. As you can see, we have up on the screen tonight, things have changed. Our schedule has changed. The way that we're doing things are changing. And the reason why is because the climate is changing. Yeah. Stuff's changing in our courtrooms. Those of you guys that are seeing some of the videos that I'm putting out right now, we're going to be talking about them tonight. It is, wow. What a sea of confusion we're in, Sean. I got to tell you. And so tonight we're going to be talking about the upcoming class, and it is coming up Wednesday morning. This is going to be a Wednesday morning class. So it'll be a 3-hour class, 3 to 4 hour class, somewhere in there. It'll be somewhere between 3 and 4 hours. Usually it's about how far they go or how long they go. So we're set up between 10 and 2, but honestly, we'll probably get done around 1:30 or so. It just depends on how many breaks or if we take any breaks. So holy cow. And want to send a mighty congratulations to Natasha. You know what? She finished her dream today, and she got to walk through the front doors of her house today. And I got to tell you, she did it with eyes wide open, knowing everything that's going on, having both hands on the handlebars. I got to tell you, I give you all the props in the world, and I'm so proud of you, man. Good job. Congratulations. Hold on. Yeah, it's good job. Good. That's what you get. Oh, we got another button. We could do those buttons too, because I bet everybody said when they came in, they had to been so excited. Man, welcome to the. Yeah, so glad you're here. We've had lots and lots of stuff going on, and we've done some changes. And one of the changes that sorry about that. One of the changes that we did is that I added family law to our travel class. I feel like we can do more. And one of the things that we're going to pull together, we're going to be talking about tonight, is the commonality. Believe it or not, these courts have a lot in common. But before I get started, I want to welcome to the call, Natasha. I want to hand things over to you. You look especially lovely tonight. I guess you were at closing, right?
Yes. Well, sort of. I'll have to tell you offline. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah, we had a couple little twists, but yeah, so today is officially the day we got to move in our house and everything's settled. And thank you again. But today is November the 17th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us. I'd like to start off and say that this is for entertainment purposes only. We're not here as lawyers to give you any legal advice. We're just here like what Tim's process is in teaching you and showing you what he's done. We're not here to promote any drugs or alcohol, hurt anybody's feelings, or anything of the above. But we do ask in the same aspect that you do respect us and don't leave us any ugly comments or anything like that. But we do hope that you enjoy the call today and get some information out of it, especially if you have any questions, put them down below and we'll try our best to answer them to the best of our ability. So
that's what's up. She's still on time. And and I already pushed the record button so everybody knows. But anywho, I know I did Bible study the other day and like blew through the whole Bible study. It was awesome. Man, I was on fire and then felt like a complete bobo because I forgot to push the record button. But it's okay because I got everywhere else. It's all good. But anyway, welcome to the call, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are here. My name is Tim Damron. I'm with the House of Yah Community Outreach. We have been doing this faithfully, successfully, and without interruption since 2017. I'm going to tell you, as far as the freedom movement goes, I'm the oldest dude in this movement. I am the oldest dude in this movement. I have been in this movement longer than anybody that's on the market right now. Anybody. And well, I take that back. I take that back. What's his name has got me beat. Not the don't say the dead guy. What's his name? Chris.
Also,
Yeah, you know what? Chris Hauser's been well, but he's not been consistent. He's been off and on, and people were like knocking at his door and chasing him down and stuff, trying to get answers out of him and stuff. But we don't have that problem over here at the House of Yah. We've got lots and lots of students. We've got, and and a lot of people tell me, well, why don't we hear about all these? Because it's private, dude. Because we don't put all of our business out in the street. We don't see your business out in the street. We don't know we don't know what your body count is, do we? All right, then. So, there we go. I mean, that's just to be straight. I mean, these are private processes and these are taught privately. And, when I woke up in 2015, there was quite a few teachers out. And all of those teachers today are either dead or they're in jail. Really. And at the end of the day, these people that are dead, none of their beneficiaries are standing up and saying, oh, it worked beautifully. What's that guy's name? Sean, either one of you guys remember that guy's name? The one that's really into the religious stuff. He gets really caught up about the Jesuits and the whatever guy. You know what I'm talking about? I cannot think of his name.
yeah,
I cannot think of anybody, guys out there. Let's throw some of these names around. And I'm not in the habit of talking about these people that often, so it's hard for me to remember. Let's see. There was that real grouchy guy. And I can't remember their names to save my life. What was his name? Sean, remember any of these guys? What were some of the first people y'all ran into when y'all first woke up?
mine was Ann and then Kenny and the unalive guy. So
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
yeah.
How about you?
Patrick Devine.
Yes, Patrick. That's the grouchy guy. I actually met him personally. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I met him personally. And at the end of the day, he just had a lot of drama. He was a very unapproachable person. He would act like he was going to snap your head off if you asked him the wrong question. And these were games. And I started seeing a lot of that stuff. And of course, this the crooked David, they got that guy. And I mean, he didn't do anything for anybody. He didn't leave millions of dollars for anybody to go and to take care of. Bonnie Strait's struggling like you wouldn't believe. She's on parole. And none of that stuff is working for them. But in my camp, we have different stories. In my camp, my people are going forward and they're seeing the fruits of their labor. They're seeing the fruits of the knowledge that they're using, and they're using it. In this travel class that I've got coming up, and it's going to be on the 19th and 20th. And what do you think about all this, Natasha? What do you think about the change? It's kind of different, huh?
Yeah, actually, I do like it, and especially like you talking about the title of defunding. I actually dove into it a little bit deeper, because I was just kind of, I guess it's like anything that you kind of learn. I was baffled by it that they actually get reimbursement from it. So it's like the more child support and the more families they can break up, the more they get reimbursed for this. And so that's an incentive, kind of like you were talking about last week, and it's sad. So, I mean, bringing to light for that was it was intriguing to kind of learn about all that.
Well, and and I'll tell you this: if you guys want to do a little experiment, call up. John, you're not in any trouble of getting divorced, okay? But tell your wife why you're doing this so she doesn't freak out, okay? But call up and talk to some divorce attorneys. Natasha, you should call up and do that too. That doesn't mean go plot against your spouses or anything. Don't do that. Okay. But here's what you're going to notice as long as you're walking straight. God, that might be too much temptation for some people. That might just open up Pandora's box. You mean I can get his 401k plan too? Let's get him. Oh, no. Oh, no. Did Tim Damron did it. I'm so sorry. Don't do that. But I'm saying if you were to call, Sean, if you were to call today around in the area and talk to local divorce attorneys, and they're going to tell you no matter what your condition is, I don't care if she kept you in a basement and gave you lotion and bread by basket for 14 years. Okay. I don't care if she walks around with a heroin needle sticking out of her arm, and vice versa, by the way. Okay. Vice versa. This could go either way. This could go male or female. Okay. It's whoever can create a hostile situation faster. That's what motivates these people. And in this workshop that I'm going to show that we've got, I'm going to show you how to overcome that stuff. Okay. They have things out there. And I mean, and seriously, throw this around. Call some lawyers, divorce lawyers. Make sure you let your spouse know you're just doing this as a project. Okay. But call some divorce lawyers and ask them, say something like, my girlfriend told me something about a silver bullet. Take everything out kind of thing. You got something like that in there? Ask him stuff like that. And bet he'll unpack that whole suitcase. Bet he will. And the reason that he's doing it is don't think for a minute because he cares one lick about you. What he cares about is getting paid. Because just like when Natasha was talking about, these 4D funding cases, these guys happen in certain circumstances. There's a lot of people that talk about the bonds with cases. You hear that a lot. Oh, that case has a CUSIP number and this and this and this. Well, that CUSIP number is attached to a GSA form. It's insured. And then it's receiving Title 4D funding just to save you guys a whole bunch of extra. Okay. You ever notice how those stories, when they explain that, it only goes like so far and that's it? Well, there you go. There's the rest of it. There's the rest of it. And that's how it's done. How do I know this? I have over 30 years experience of doing this. I've seen the system weaponized against me when I couldn't protect myself, when I didn't know how to defend myself. At age 19, I was sitting in front of a federal judge. This was 30 years ago. And some officer came to me, made a plan, and basically, and really in my mind, Natasha, I really thought this guy was a cop. But I figured, how could this guy be a cop if he's making all the plans? I mean, he's an accessory. He knows more about this than I do. So I figured he certainly couldn't be doing that. Wrong-o. And this is when I first learned about government corruption. Here's, when we were in government class, Natasha, they told us that, the courts are here for the people and by the people and for the people and with the people and without the people and to the left of the people and to the right of the people. And then you ever notice that when you're in there, they'll say, well, if you'd have just done this right here, you could have had it, but you didn't. And because you didn't do that, you got to do this over here and you got to pay the penalty. And what do we say? Okay. No, those days can stop. Okay. We're going to talk about tickets. We're going to dive in. We're going to talk about tickets. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to deal with officers that want to escalate. Okay. And what I learned getting back to my little trip to Washington, D.C., I took my appeal, Natasha, because I was entrapped at age 19 by the police, by the FBI, to transport some stolen cars that I didn't even transport. I got a 2-point reduction for a minor participant role, and I was the only one on the indictment. Only in America can you do this. And I knew, even at 19, I knew right away that was messed up. But after about 18 months of waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping for justice, because that's what they told us, right? You know what they said? After 18 months looking at it, we're not going to hear your case today, Mr. Damron. What you mean you're not going to hear my case, sucker? What you mean you're not going to hear my case, man? I've been waiting 18 months for you to hear my case. You're about to see a real criminal now. No, I'm just kidding. No. See, that's what the devil would want me to do. But I didn't do that. You know what I did? I went to school. And at age 19, I went to school. I went to law school and I learned how to beat these guys. I was not happy with the performance of our government 30 years ago. And then later in my 20s, I saw how destructive family court can be. And it is, because it's a profit machine. Then I learned what 4D funding was last year. And then I figured it out. See, when I was in my 20s and I went through my first divorce, I spent over $50,000 just to get normal visitation with my children. Nothing, I didn't want, I didn't want to deprive their mom of anything or anything like that. I just wanted to see my kids. And from what I thought, it was 50-50, but it's really more like 20-0. You really get like 20% in their life. The stepdad actually has more time with your kids than you do. And that's a big problem with our system. But I saw $50,000 go away and I lost my kids. And I lost my children because these people knew how to operate in another jurisdiction that I wasn't aware of. And these people knew how to move so quickly that I didn't understand how it was happening. And the next thing you know, yeah, I'm a joint managing conservator. Everything looks good on paper. But I got kids that don't know who their dad is. And there's nothing I can do about it. Can't stop it. Every lawyer I called said, well, that's just the way it is. And then I had to ask myself, is that really in the best interest of the child? And I got to tell you, it was an emotionally painful situation. And the reason that I've never offered this in a workshop is because it was just so painful. I just didn't want to talk about it. I really didn't. But you know what? There's a time and there's a season for everything. And the season came and went. And now these family law lawyers, they run from me. And they better. Because see, once you understand the parameters and you understand how these things work, you can even the playing field real fast. Okay. I was just looking at some of the comments up here. Yeah, and there's not going to be much on Title 4D funding. They hide this stuff, man. And I mean, and look how it comes out in the movement too. It comes out in the movement as, oh, you're being paid, you're being traded on the stock market. And oh, this is happening. And they're doing this stuff with your bonds, and they're doing all this and this and this and this. And they're creating bonds and making millions of dollars on your suffering. Well, let's finish that equation tonight for the first time for some of you guys. What you're seeing is you're seeing Title 4D funding coming in, and these people are filling out GSA application forms for funding through the Social Security Administration. This is how this is happening. This is going to be a very powerful class. And I'm going to tell you that when you know these things, close your mouth. Don't say too much. I'm not going to say too much tonight. I promise you. I'm going to talk about some things, but there's a lot of things I'm going to save for class. Much of this stuff I'm going to save for class. And the reason why is because I have to. When you start talking about how these guys operate and how their infrastructure works, and more importantly, how you can take it down, it's pretty easy too, once you understand. And I show you how to take it down, that makes me an enemy. And about 10 years ago, no, about 8 years ago, I got into a situation in Bandera, Texas. And I got to tell you, you need to be careful who you pick your battles with. What you're going to find out is that these towns, they're not townships at all. You know what they are, you guys? They're syndicates. Sean, look up syndicates and tell me what syndicate means in your AI. Better yet, look up Texas syndicates and see what pops up in your AI. And these syndicates, I don't know. Natasha, will you help him spell syndicate? SYNDIs. I don't know. I'll probably say it wrong. It sounds stupid on the air, so please help me so I don't sound dumb. Thank you. Anyway, and what they are is they're committees that are put together that do a couple of things. They maintain the public trust. Okay. And what does that mean exactly? Natasha, what do you think that means to maintain the public trust?
To maintain the public trust?
Yeah. You know, like the town needs to maintain the public trust. You know, what do you like? They have a duty to maintain the public trust. What do you think that really means? Because we hear that a lot. I hear it a lot.
I kind of think maybe it to keep funds coming in.
Okay.
Kind of what
What's to maintain? But go ahead, Sean. What do you think? Or what did you get on your syndicate thing?
An association of people or firms formed to promote a common interest or to carry out a business enterprise. A syndicate itself can be organization, a group of individuals, companies, or corporations or entities formed to transact some specific business or purpose to promote a shared interest.
Dang it. I think I hit it right on the head. Natasha, what are your thoughts on that one? Boy, that was as good as it gets. Bullseye.
Yeah, corporate people being corrupt.
Well, and I think people are tempted with corruption when there's an opportunity to make a bunch of money.
Exactly.
Look how lucrative it is to sell cocaine, I think. I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, I think in the 80s it was with all those movies they have out. I mean, I can only guess. But it seems to be lucrative to sell drugs because people won't stop selling them and people certainly won't stop buying them. So it seems to be lucrative to sell drugs in this country. We should ask Ronald Reagan about that. Oh, never mind. We can't. But because he knows all about that. That's how he finances little wars. And that's a lucrative opportunity. And when you have a lucrative opportunity, people will break the law. And this is what you're seeing. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. No reason to apologize. You're good. Anyway, but you know, this is what we're seeing, and these are not townships. These are syndicates. One of the things that you're going to get in my class, you're going to get a free copy of this book right here. And this is a killer book. Now, those of you guys that can't see it on the screen, I'll show you guys so you guys can see it. But this book is called Police Liability and Risk Management. Okay. This is going to tell you exactly how these public officials are trained. And it talks about bonds. It talks about their ability to be insured. And in this class, we're going to be talking about administrative claims. And because I've done them. I currently have a Monell claim filed against Houston County, Texas, for a tune exceeding $33 million. And people are going to lose their jobs. And I hope you guys are watching right now, because people are going to go to jail for a really long time. Why? Because they wanted to make some money. They did. And now they're going to make some more money. Now I'm going to make some money. And that's how this stuff works. It's a commerce game. And if we understand the commerce and all of this stuff, you're going to walk out with understanding. So at least if you lose, you're going to understand how you lost. You're going to understand why you lost. Okay. And I'll tell you, closure, win, lose, or draw is the best thing to have in these situations. We're going to be talking about not just the administrative claims part of this, but how to protect yourself. How do you not get a whole town to come after you? It's happened to me twice. Why? Because I stood up. I stood up. And I opened up this big mouth of mine too. I know my enemies are probably watching this going, yeah, man, see, I told you he's got a big mouth. He said he did. Look. He just said it. Rewind it. Kenny's probably watching me right now. He's going to sample this. This will be on one of his little channels, his little gay channels. But what I'm saying is that we're having a problem in this market because many of you are waking up, and there's two kinds of people waking up. There's the people that are looking for the truth and they're wanting to do the right thing. And then there's the people that want to get away with stuff. And if you're the people that want to get away with stuff, keep flipping, because this is not your channel. This is not your call. It absolutely isn't. But if you're looking to have understanding, if you're looking to humble yourself so that you can get it, you're in the right place. You're absolutely in the right place. My students have done very, very well. I have students all over the country, thousands of students all over the country, all of them doing very well with their processes and doing well. Now, I will say, for anybody that has taken taken the UCC class, please schedule a retake. I'm just going to say that, okay? There are some updates, and they need to be done. They really need to be done. And if you want to call me and we could talk about it, call me and schedule an appointment with me, whatever. We can talk about it, and I'll tell you what the updates are. But we really need to sit down, and we need to go through some of this again, the filing and everything else, okay? Some of you guys had a hard time filing. Like, I know Sean had a hard time filing his non-UCC. Well, what if I found out you don't have to file a non-UCC anymore? You could just file 2 little filings and sit at your desk, and that's it. Wouldn't that be easy? Cool. It takes a little bit to explain. So schedule an appointment with me. Those of you guys that have taken a class with me before, schedule an appointment with me, okay? Because that's going to change. The commercial security agreement has changed slightly. And what it's done is it's just made things more specific. And give me a call, and I'll go over those changes with you. And if you feel like that's something you want to amend, because you can, this would be a really good time to do it, and I would recommend it. This class that we have coming up on the right to travel, we're going to be talking a lot about the right to travel. We're going to talk about speeding. We're going to talk about tickets. We're going to talk about posturing. We're going to be talking about what to do, what not to do, so that you can walk out, drive out, and leave that scenario safely. You know, it's not safe for certain groups to get pulled over. Statistically, it's just not safe. I mean, in San Antonio, we just had a hearing here where 3 cops were charged with murder. They shot somebody in their house. And if you ask me, they should have been found guilty. But because it's TV and because it's a show, we had to go through and we had to get the people's approval. So, you know, everybody got to get, you know, they put these things out there and for the public to watch. So hopefully the district attorney could sell the fact that this woman apparently deserved to be murdered for no real reason. These people were at the wrong house. Yeah. And this woman had some mental problems. She had some mental instability, and they knew it. And rather than assessing her, they murdered her. And this is happening a lot. We're going to be talking about in this class a Monell claim. What is a Monell claim? Well, I'm going to tell you it's very difficult to go after and sue individuals in a township, especially if they're operating under color of law, because they have immunity. Well, there's a remedy for that. And it's called a Monell claim. It's a 1983, 42 USC 1983. And this is a claim that you can file when a township or a syndicate has a culture of doing things a certain way, and it's hurting people. And you guys can look up the case. It's a really good case, but it was a Supreme Court ruling. It was Monell versus the Social Security Administration or something like that. And basically they ruled that because they did not train their people appropriately, that the township is responsible. And we're going to be talking about the Monell claim that I filed. We're going to be talking about RICO claims. What is a RICO claim? Well, I filed a RICO claim too. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is what is a RICO claim? Well, that means when you have a whole bunch of people conspiring together to get you. And you might see that situation in a family law case. You might see that situation in a CPS family law case. It happens all the time because they're getting funding. You know, Natasha, this past summer, Dr. Candace Matthews found some kids that had been taken into CPS custody in Houston, and she went and tracked them down. They were in a hotel, and they just left them in a hotel with no food in the fridge, no nothing. These kids had nothing. So, you know, Dr. Candace Matthews, she's awesome, by the way. She went to HEB and said, "We have a problem." And HEB said, "No, you don't. Here's a voucher. Go get as much food as you need to get and go take those kids their food." And that's exactly what they did. And they made CPS look like a bunch of weenies. And they really are. And they are because they were looking at profit over service. And we need accountability. We need real accountability. If we know this information, we're going to be able to do what we need to do, process this. And we're going to be talking about this in this workshop. Those of you guys that are dealing with pro se claims, like misdemeanors type stuff, you know, low level felony stuff like DWIs, things like that, you know, this is the class for you. Okay. We're going to be talking about how to deal with this stuff. I'm going to show you what jurisdiction they're in. I'm going to show you how to get off that checklist so that so you can make sure that your case is not eligible for 4D funding. And then that way, if they decide and they want to go forward and they want to fill out the forms anyway, then you can go in and do some real fun stuff. And we'll be talking about that in the class. Oh, yeah. You know, one of the most powerful things that you can do is to know what's around you. Like Natasha, in your line of work, you know, you deal with things, you know, how you say, like fixtures and things, add-on specifics, little specific stuff that you need for houses and things like that. If you know where all the brass 4518 hinges are, and you know where the silver 4516 hinges are, that makes you proficient in what you're doing, because you know where stuff is. If you guys walk into these courtrooms and you know where stuff is and you know where the switches are, you can disqualify your case from 4D funding. And once you disqualify your case from 4D funding, they're not interested in prosecuting you anymore. This is why they're so dead set on prosecuting these cases, in my family law case, I spent over $50,000 20 years ago. Went through 5 lawyers just to get regular, normal visitation, nothing special. And I couldn't get that. You know why? Every person that I hired wanted to get paid. And not just by me, they wanted to get paid on the other end too. And so this lawyer, Peter Seska, this guy decided that he was just going to funnel this whole thing. So every time I hired a lawyer or a different lawyer, because I get mad and I'd fire him, then I go hire another one. And then I'd hire another one. Then you know what? He's over there offering him a big fat check too. And guess what? They're selling me out. This is what happens to court-appointed attorneys. When you have a court-appointed attorney and you hear them, oh, they sold me out. Yeah, they did. Quite literally. Who's the highest bidder? This is why lawyers take these cases, because they get a lot of back funding. The judges get a lot of funding. Makes you kind of sick, doesn't it?
It does. And I actually done a little bit more diving into that of how they actually got their funding. I think it was for every $3 that I think for every $2 they get, for every $3 they spend, they're supposed to get $2 back. And I was like, well, what are they getting their money back on? A lot of it dealt with child support, so every time that they would, make another parent pay, it would end up being for setting up the account, distributing the money, for staff fees. So there was a long laundry of list of everything that they get paid on. And I mean, by the time you finish adding that all up, no wonder they're pushing the issue so much. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, if they issue a capious warrant, they get stupid money for that. If they can get a parent to sign away their rights, ding, 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 ding. Everybody's getting paid. Oh my gosh, you should see them. They almost have their party hats on when they know this is coming. Seriously. And I've been in enough of these cases. I've seen them do it. It's sick.
So yeah, I could see where you're talking about, to where if they can't get any 4D funding, they just kind of pass you off as like you're not worth their time. I mean, because why would you? I mean,
And I mean, and yeah, I know. Why would you expect these people to serve the public? Don't. A lot of people are running for office right now. A lot of judges are running for office right now in Bexar County. You know what? If I were you, I wouldn't vote for any of them. None of them. Because whoever's been picking these people and putting them up, people are suffering. There's a Bexar County judge. I can't think of her name because I'm actually dealing with her too, so I'm not going to say her name. She's in a lawsuit right now with me, but I'm not going to say her name. But this particular judge just the other day took a child from someone, a baby, 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old, right? And then held him at the courthouse all night. This is a baby. And then told CPS afterwards, hey, you need to come pick up this kid. You know what? I'm just going to say it's Judge Alvarez. And this is a woman that has no business being on. She has no business in there at all. She needs to be in jail. She's had 19 appeals come back on her just this year. She's been publicly sanctioned at least twice, and I know once for sure just recently. And has been accused of all kinds of fraud and Title 4D fraud and things like that, and turning this kids department into her own personal little project, quite literally, like her own little business. This is happening. So I'm here to tell you guys, you're going to need a whole lot more than some quick little law stuff that somebody told you. This is why this stuff isn't working. Really, I mean, Natasha, how many people do you see on YouTube show up and they say, I'm here under special appearance? Hello.
Quite a few. Not as much though. I mean, here lately.
I know it's because we've been calling them out for like the last year, so now they're all hiding. Like, man, don't put that video up. Tim Damron will say something for sure.
But used to is very, very common, and it was almost like their special appearance was a special announcement that they were
I'm
special.
special. Yeah. Hello, I'm here with my special appearance, and I'm special. That's right. No, no, no. No matter what you say, I'm special. My mom said so. And they have no idea what a special appearance is. They have no clue what it is. And we're just showing up. But you know, I mean, and we just did the firm mailing class too. That was a really powerful class. Those of you guys, if you have an opportunity, go back to my Facebook, you can actually watch it. But a really powerful class. And because you need to be able to operate from the common law. When you walk into the courthouse and you go file something in there, guess whose jurisdiction you're in? You think you're in common law jurisdiction? You think you're special? Only in your mama's eyes. No. If you think you're anything more than that, you're special ed. I'm just telling you, just to be straight. Because, man, I've already walked in there and worn the dunce cap. I'm speaking from experience. Okay? Really. And you know what? And I'm not, and I'm humble enough to admit it too. I don't care. I learned my lesson. And I learned it in 30 years. And I'm dang good at this too. Real good at this. You know, people are not understanding on how even to show up in these courthouses. Do you know that one of the things you're going to learn in my class is that you're able to do something in court that no lawyer can do. We have a power and the ability to assert ourselves in an area of law that's unbeatable. Well, it's unbeatable in equity, it's unbeatable in law, but we clearly have a lot of lawless judges out there. So here's the part that gets frustrating, okay? Those of you guys that are learning this process. Once you guys learn all this processes and you learn the rules and you learn what they're supposed to do, when they're not supposed to do, and this and this and this, well, actually, you just really, the first thing you learn is everything they're supposed to do. And then what'll happen is these guys will do something right to your face and make it look like whatever you did had no effect at all. Like it didn't even matter what you said. We don't care. We're just going to do this anyway. And a lot of people quit at that point. They're like, oh crap, we better just go pay it. In this class, I'm going to show you how to walk past that. I'm going to show you how to walk in. I'm going to show you how to make these things disappear, these little ticket cases. I'll show you how to make these disappear, and you probably won't even have to show up. I'm going to break down and show you what a special appearance really is. And a special appearance is something that's done in equity. Okay? It's not done with you showing up in court and waving your little flag and your name tag saying, I'm private. That ain't going to get it. We already tried that. The Chris Hauser group tried that. Remember, Sean? They already tried that. We're private. And then, and they were doing the $35 plate club too. You remember those guys? I just posted a video on a guy that has, I cannot believe people are still buying those stupid things. But anyway, and I just posted a video about that, about some guy getting nailed for it. And somebody else was saying, hey man, it doesn't work. And I'm like, finally, amen. Somebody finally figured it out other than me. I'm like, wow. And people just don't understand what it means to operate in the private. Does it make you feel special? It shouldn't. It shouldn't make you feel exclusive. It shouldn't. Should it make you feel productive and empowered? Yes. But if you've got those other two things with it, your fruit's going to spoil by the morning. It's going to spoil by the morning because this isn't about what other people see. This is about what your beneficiaries see. This is about what your family sees. Some of you guys are waking up right now and your family thinks you're crazy. And maybe you are. Maybe you've just gotten such a flow of information that it's just made you a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It happened to me. I'm serious. Be careful what you ask for. And it happened to me. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience when I tell you I have walked down these roads. I've seen the secured party creditor volumes 1 through, what do they have, 5 or 6 now, or 22, something. I don't know. They just can't get it right. But can I tell you that those secure party creditor guys were actually onto something? But it was like, as soon as they pointed their boat at it, Sean, they're like, they just went that way. I mean, they were just like, when they just went that way. And they just, off the reservation, they went. We can do this better. And when you do this process right, you don't have to worry about correcting your status. I've been hearing a lot of that, Sean. You guys been hearing a lot of that about correcting your status lately? I've been hearing a bunch of that.
I think that as well is kind of toned down a little bit for me. I think a lot of people are starting to understand that the trust is the way to go, you know. So I think our message is finally starting to reach people. Well, I'm hoping anyway.
Well, I don't know. I posted a video today about this gal that says, let me tell you 3 things that your revocable trust can do. And one of them was basically be another persona, to put all of your stuff put your stuff in your business name, and your business name is your trust name is gonna own all your LLCs. And they don't even know what you do for a living, but you know, whatever. It's this trust is gonna own all your LLCs, and you're not gonna do anything, and all of a sudden it's all gonna work. It sounds like one of those, like it sounds like buying the Death Star at the Lego store and saying, okay, go put it together. That's what it's right? What do you think, Sean?
You know, the changing your status for me is like and I haven't heard much of it. People's pretty much died down about talking about it.
Oh, it's coming around. Trust me, it's coming around. It's because you blocked all those people.
Probably.
Yeah, that's why. That's why you're not seeing them anymore. Because I got a so I have a new assistant, a new account. So I go in and I look at just, you know, whatever's out there. And yeah, there's a gal out there, and she's like, and I have a business partner. And I'm just like, ooh, y'all better learn how to read, because they're not understanding how this stuff works at all. She was like, and one of the things that you have to have in your trust is to make sure that it aligns with you spiritually and in your mindset, like you're joining a spa or something. I was like, hold on, man. And your trust is a holding company. It doesn't care how religious you are. I mean, it was like this whole, I don't know what she was making. It was more like a covenant than a trust. But she was calling it a trust. And then this other guy I read, he said that Allah was his he said that Allah was the grantor. Who's gonna sign that? And I mean, what notary is gonna sign off on that? Yes, Allah was here and he signed off on it. Whatever. No. And I mean, I'm seeing a lot of that out there, really, seriously. And all this superstar. Did you get another dog?
Oh, yeah, my little rescue baby.
Is that a min pin?
It's a half Chihuahua, half rat terrier.
That's a min pin.
Hmm?
That's a miniature pincher. No?
Mutt, Hans 57.
He's a little Bobo. Well, that's what's up. I love those. I miss mine. I do. But anyway, Sean, what's your input on all of this stuff, this crazy stuff?
So much is changing all at once. So
I'm seeing it too.
like having to keep up. It's like I feel like left behind.
Well, you're really not left behind, because they're not going forward. All they did was mix up some other weird Kool-Aid that you're like, you know, it's kind of like walking down the coffee aisle. You know, have you ever seen how big the coffee aisle keeps getting and how many flavors there are? You could spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out what kind of coffee you're going to get. And back 30 years ago, it was Folgers or nothing at all. Not anymore. You got K cups. You got H cups. I don't know. You got all kinds of cups. But, and I mean, and that's what I'm saying. There's just so many options and there's so many things going on. And I think that people are trying to over fantasize these things for the purpose of really just confusing people, you know? Like when they'll say, well, is it a, what is it? What are the things they say about the little add-ons for trust now? Let's see, is it it is an operating holding trust? And they give you that eyebrow, like, you better get out of this eyebrow. But, and you're like, no, it's just an irrevocable trust. Oh, that's the wrong one. Then you got the wrong trust. Then you got the wrong. Well, he doesn't even know what your trust is. Or these other people that will tell you to go file your trust publicly. Really? Or go get a DBA under your trust name. No, no. Because at the end of the day, the officer still has to sign for it. And if you're doing business, nobody's going to do business under a trust EIN. They're not. They're just not going to do it. Yeah, I mean, Natasha, you've seen it. You have a hard enough time getting Social Security to make deposits into that account. They don't want to touch them. And they don't because they're private. And people need to learn what in the heck private is. Well, that's what we're going to be going through in this class. It's going to be on Wednesday from 10 to 2 a.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., excuse me, Central Time. These are some of the major topics that we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering private versus commercial travel. We're going to be talking about fee schedules, remedies. How do we file a claim with a county? What if they do something to you? What if something bad happens? How do you make a presentment? How do you file a claim? Do you go after their bonds? And what are you going to do when you get them? That's it. Those people that tell you guys to go after their bonds. Isn't it funny, Natasha? We should call those people on that. Call Chris Hauser. We should do that. Oh man, we should do that because I can do that here on the call. I can actually call him in on the phone and we go. We should call Chris Hauser and bring him in on the call. We should do
I
it.
think it would be lovely because I mean, if he has a different technique that actually works, I'm game. I mean, because if somebody does me wrong and I go after their bond, I mean, I would like compensation, but I'd like to know how the process works if it does.
It does work, but we're just gonna watch the chicken dance around. Nothing's gonna come of it, but it's okay. We're gonna watch it anyway. That's right. And you know what? Any of you other guys, anybody from the state nationals that don't rock, any of those people, I mean, guys, listen. Don't trade your pride for correction. Okay? Don't be so proud that you can't self-examine and say that, hey, whoa, wait a minute. These lines don't connect. Because what you'll learn after you start growing in these processes, especially if you invest yourself into them, like the secured party creditor process or the David Straight process or any of these other Anavon, right? Or any of these other cuckoo birds. So if you go into their processes, what's going to happen is you're going to start outgrowing them. Okay. And how will you know when you start outgrowing your teacher? Natasha, how do you know when you outgrow your teacher?
Hmm.
John?
Well, when I can't answer your questions or to have no proof or anything like that, that would
Yep.
be a key thing. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. If I was handing out door prizes, you'd be getting them tonight. Yep, you nailed it. What about you, Sean? You got anything? How do you know when you're outgrowing your teacher? How did we know when we were outgrowing our teachers in school? Or did we?
It was
moved to the
time to
next
move to
grade.
Yep.
Yeah, one more time.
We moved to the next grade.
Oh yeah. And then we like looked at him like you'd see him the next year. Oh yeah, that was my 7th grade math teacher. She ain't nobody now. We up here in the 8th grade now. You know what I mean? You look at your teachers like they're stuck in the 8th grade too with everybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, they only got an 8th grade education. That's just where they stayed. You know, that's what we think when we're kids. You know? But we knew that we were outgrowing our teachers when we were asking them questions that they just couldn't answer. Exactly what Natasha said. And a lot of times they can't answer these questions. And what's more irritating is when they bring up something and they can't finish it. You know, that was my whole thing with even coming out public in the first place. I did it because I started seeing an explosion of nonsense, and I'm starting to see it again. I see it out there right now. And if you guys have videos, send them to me. If you guys see these weird cuckoo bird videos, send them to me. Okay. I'll do a video lay on top of it. I'll be nice. I try to be. You know, I don't call people names or anything like that. Well, except for cuckoo bird. That's kind of a pet name, really. But that's because I love you. But because you know, I don't use 4-letter words. So the cuckoo bird is better. It's just better. You know, and we can have a difference of opinion, but here's what we can't have: a difference in fact. And we need to have our facts straight. Okay. And the whole point of this call is to make sure that we do. This class is going to be absolutely amazing. If you guys are interested in getting in the class, call my office tomorrow, 210-605-0144. And that's 210-605-0144. Feel free to give us a call. My office is open after 10 a.m. and we're open till 4 p.m. Central Time. That's Texas time. I think we covered quite a bit tonight. And I want to encourage you guys, okay? I don't want to discourage anybody from this process, okay? Learn everything you can, okay? But if somebody is asking you to do something that's dishonorable, walk away. If somebody is asking you to do something that's illegal, that looks remotely not on the cool, that looks shisty, you need to ask yourself what kind of person you are. And if you decide to go down that road, my process will not work for you, because this process is all about people trying to find the truth. This is all about living the truth in your life every day, so that when you pass away and your beneficiaries are dealing with your stuff, they're not ripping each other's heads off, because there's a plan in place. Everything got done. And now they can just focus on getting better and healing. That's the hard part. Now, before we cut out for the night, our debt and foreclosure workshop is going to be on the 25th and 26th. This is a morning class as well, at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, if you guys want to take this class, but you just can't do it in the morning, and you want to set up a private class, call my office tomorrow. We can set up a private class for you. It's not a problem. The rates are a little bit different, but it is a really good personal experience. My office number is 210-605-0144, and that's after 10 a.m. and between that and 4 p.m. Central Time. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the call tonight. Sean, thank you for being here tonight. And Natasha, always a pleasure having you here as well. And congratulations from all of us. Really, thank you. Thank you so much for being there. I'm going to pass it off to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. I hope you'll have a very lovely night. And I hope that anybody that signs up for the class, you'll learn a lot as far as the travel, driving, and the new family. I hope y'all enjoy, and be blessed, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. You guys have a great evening.
Y'all have a great night.